I've got some notes here that I've been taking over the last couple of days about Jesus and his existence in history.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would just like to ask you, and I would ask you, do you guys believe that Jesus existed?
I personally have no opinion on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's your name to the left of Tracie? Sorry.
Jen, it's okay.
Jen, sorry. Do you believe that Jesus existed?
I don't.
You do not. Okay. So why?
I think that it's possible that there was one or more itinerant rabbis somewhere in the ancient Near East around the time of Jesus' alleged existence, but I don't think that you could point to any single individual and say, that guy, that was Jesus.
Okay, so you don't believe in that the Gospels were actually eyewitnesses?
No, and I think that's pretty well established by the timeline of
Yeah,
which
the Gospels are
published.
anonymous, so
Yeah.
absolutely we can't say that those were eyewitness Gospels. And in fact, Luke basically says it's not eyewitness testimony. Luke says that he interviewed people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he interviewed the people that handed it down.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
so
not
you
an
believe
eyewitness.
that
Yeah, that's not, that's hearsay.
Okay. So you believe that the time you believe that the timeline is off, like these documents are written too late to be accepted as eyewitnesses.
I think that's been pretty well established.
Yeah, and I have no opinion on
Okay,
it. I mean,
so,
to me, I guess it doesn't matter, right? It's
Yeah.
like, what is the relevance here? Let's say that there was a rabbi, this guy Jesus, he went out and talked to people and did some stuff, and somebody, they told some stories, and it got, it was a little bit mythologized, and then ended up in these books with all miracles and weirdness, and then in the end it comes 2,000 years later to us in all kinds of weird revised forms, and today we have this weird religion that has come up around it where they're taking all this strangeness seriously, and so what is the point?
What is the point of this?
Yeah.
What is the point of Christianity?
No, what is the point of this call?
Yeah.
Cult?
The call.
Cult.
What are we
All right,
the
let's
call.
Go back,
The
let's go back
call.
to the very beginning. Let's go back. Oh, what's the point of the cult?
Yes.
I guess I kind of got off topic here. What I was trying to do is create a timeline of why I think the Gospels are eyewitnesses. Can I get into
What
that?
difference would it make? I mean,
It
first
would
of all,
mean that these-
wait.
Hey, hold up. Listen,
Okay.
it would mean that these people were eyewitnesses that saw Jesus.
They don't
These
claim
eyewitnesses
to be eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
The writers don't claim to be eyewitnesses. So even if you said, hey, these things were written in AD 30, or let's say AD 40,
Okay.
my question is, so what?
10 years after Jesus' death. Okay.
Yeah, so what?
So what? Does
Yeah.
that not mean Jesus was true then?
No.
What do you mean Jesus was true?
Okay.
And
What does that mean?
let me tell you.
If we make this line that Jesus is not a legend, okay, if we make it where these Gospels are true, then why would the people...
Who says the Gospels are true? Wait a minute. Who said the Gospels are true just because they're written 10 years after somebody lived and died? Who says that they're true? If I can write a...
Let me get my point. If Jesus died on the cross, all right, if we know that Jesus died, okay, if we know Jesus' death was a historical fact, and then we have people that have saw him after his death and they're writing about it, and they're dying terrible deaths for it, then why would they die those terrible deaths?
Nobody died a terrible... Nobody died a terrible death for Jesus dying on the cross. I did a whole thing on martyrs.
No Christian died terrible deaths. So Romans didn't throw Christians into big...
Wait a minute. You're confusing some things here, all right? The fact that Christians were persecuted is not the same as somebody being tortured or killed because they refused to recant a resurrection story. That Christian does not exist.
Those Christians don't exist. So where are the Christians later?
Can you tell me? Can you tell me a martyr?
In 110 AD, when Nero blamed the burning of Rome on the Christians, and they were persecuted.
They were persecuted.
Only 60 years after supposedly Jesus' death. 60 years later. So where did those people get this? If you're talking about a myth over time that is slowly developed into this, let's get into...
Lots of religions are persecuted.
Yeah.
Lots of religions are persecuted, but if I start killing Christians, that doesn't mean that I'm killing them because they refuse to recant the resurrection. It means I'm persecuting Christians. It means you'd have to demonstrate that they could have saved their lives by saying Jesus was not resurrected. And I'm saying, do you have that example? Please give me that example, because I don't know of that example. The only martyr that's in the Bible, right, you've got a martyr in the Bible that is Stephen, and he's stoned for what he was saying, but there was never an option for him to say, okay, I recant, and then they weren't going to kill him. So this was not a guy who refused to recant. This was a guy that said some stuff, pissed people off, and they killed him. That's a whole different story.
So you want an example of what this is? Okay, so let's take Paul's letter in 1 Corinthians.
Paul never met Jesus.
Yeah, Paul never claimed to have
Paul never met Jesus.
He didn't. He met the people who saw Jesus, and they told him about it.
Again, that's hearsay. That's not an eyewitness account.
Paul was telling them about Jesus.
So, okay,
Paul was telling them about Jesus, and he never met him.
Yeah.
Why do you not believe that the Gospels were eyewitness accounts?
Because they don't claim to be.
Yeah, we've read them.
Can you tell me where any of those Gospels say that they're an eyewitness account? Which one of them says it? What verse?
Says it at the end of John.
The end of John. What do we got? What's the verse?
Get over to it here. So you're wanting me to find the verse that says that he is an eyewitness. That's what you're wanting me to find.
The things that I'm writing are things I personally saw, not just things that other people said.
All right. Okay, John 21:24. This is the disciple who testifies about these things and has written these things, and we know that his testimony is true. There are many other things that Jesus did. If every one of them were written down, I suppose the whole world would not have room for the books that were written. Now, why would he say all these things that Jesus did if he hadn't seen them?
Because he's talking to people who are claiming things.
Okay.
I can tell you, I can go out and interview 100 people about an incident that occurred and say everything I'm telling you is absolutely true. I'm reporting it accurately. It doesn't mean I saw it.
All right, so do you believe that the guy who wrote Luke, okay?
Yeah.
Do you believe that Luke was the person that wrote it?
I don't know who wrote it. The Gospels are anonymous, right? I mean, you're talking about church tradition.
No, Luke's not.
Yes,
Luke's
he is.
Not an anonymous gospel.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, does it matter who wrote them?
No.
Then what? Okay, then we have Acts where a guy is saying.
Acts is just about is a history of the church.
Okay, Acts is the history of the church. So give me this reason. If Acts was about the history of the church, and these documents are written late, right? You're saying that these documents are did you say that these documents
I didn't say when they were written. I'm saying I don't give a crap when they were written.
Why?
Because it doesn't matter.
Why does that not matter? If some guy saw what happened...
Because if I write to you and tell you that somebody's walking on water and coming back from the dead and turning water into wine, does it really matter when I wrote it? Isn't that just kind of whack?
No, it does matter, because if it's not an eyewitness testimony,
You know what? It is. I did it yesterday. Yesterday, I went into the kitchen and I needed some wine and there wasn't any wine, and I had this pitcher of water and I just touched it and it turned into wine, and I did that all by myself, and I saw it and did it. Not only am I an eyewitness to it, but I actually did it. Do you believe me?
I don't know. I'll look at the eyewitness.
Oh, come on.
I'm first-hand account.
With the gospel for
I saw it.
Yeah, Jen was with me and she saw it.
I'm the eyewitness.
Is it true?
You're the eyewitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're the eyewitness. Give me the story again.
The story is that I had a pitcher of water.
Wine.
Yeah, we needed some wine.
The eyewitness.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, no, we had no wine. We only had this pitcher of water, and she went in and got the pitcher of water and put her hands on it and turned into wine.
Okay, so are you saying that you have powers from God, or what?
I don't know. I just know that I can convert water to wine. It's the wildest thing.
I just know that I'm inviting her to every one of my parties from now on.
There you go. It was really good wine, too.
Yeah.
The best wine.
Okay. Well, if you've got powers from God, I guess.
I didn't say I had powers from God.
Okay, well, then how do you turn water into wine?
You got me. It was the weirdest thing.
Okay. Wow. Weirdest thing. Maybe it was a miracle. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if a miracle just means something that we say happened that can't happen, then yeah, it's a miracle.
All right. So you said earlier, that it doesn't matter when it was written.
Right.
Okay. Well, then, what evidence are you looking for to see that the Gospels are eyewitness accounts?
Why would I believe anything in a book full of whack stories is true? Even
What's
if a
whack
person,
about the Gospels?
if
What is
somebody,
whack about the Gospels?
okay, it defies everything we know about reality, right? We've got people coming back from the dead days later. We have people walking on water, which we know doesn't actually work. We have people converting chemically water into wine, which we know doesn't happen. There are there's talking donkeys and talking serpents and fruit that gives you knowledge of good and evil. I mean, what part of it isn't whack, right? Other than the begats, what part of this story makes any sense at all? The whole thing is bizarre.
All right, well, then that means you don't believe in a God. So,
Well, thank you. I guess that's why this is the Atheist Experience.
This guy's a genius.
Wow. Okay, well, look, I'm going to have to ask you to call back another time if you want to continue the conversation. We've got one more call to go.